Eventually, several nice news story. Following year of downgrades, yesterday the World Cash Foundation, International Monetary Fund, affected an optimistic mention on the world economics. America, China, and the Europe mainland are all using superior figures. The IMF told how all the progressive economies should see high increase rather than anticipated by 2019. So, all the progressive economies bar A. The IMF downgraded the UK as it yet sees Brexit risks weight on prospects. I include been upcoming to Davos for almost 10 years and the is surely the largest upbeat sentiment I include skilled. The PwC examination of World Head Management Team, as well liberated on Monday, offered how 57% trust how economies will be much stronger following year. The synchronization of increase is the cause. In early year nice news story of America, for sample, was tempered by problems in the Eurozone. Or upbeat figures of India would be contrasted in fears above hyper-high China obligation levels. The superior news story links all the major drivers of world increase. Or, eventually, increase tool more than riches creature created and more than human beings creature undertaken out of total poverty reduction. That is to be welcomed. Yet, and it is a big A down there is increase, affirmative, but is it the law type of increase? The IMF paper reveals how a fifth of growing marketplace economies saw per capita incomes drop recent year. Down there are as well main trouble on disparity among countries and among generations during countries. The reality how fair 21% of convention delegates there are female, in fact the highest percent on recording, as well tells its own history. Add to how fears above the foamy environment of markets and the risk of an growing quantity of trading disputes. So, all is not iridescent. Main all such issues is else synchronization how may include less than sound effects rather than the superior increase figures. It is the big worry about talked on in the individual meetings and dinners how go on there while the cameras are off and the major meeting center is close. Center banks about the planet are start to remove several of the cash incentive how has been inflated in the world economics with the 2008 collapse. The large inflationary experimental, estimated in the hundreds of billions of pounds and never tested up, is upcoming to and late. It is the at first period with how original, united up, answer by center banks to the letter of credit crackle how such a cash synchronization has be obvious. In 2014, while the Fed backup signaled the delicate departure of cash incentive, the Banking of Japan was in hard inflationary regime, support main Secretary Shinzo Abe's efforts to begin economical increase. At the end of 2015, while the Fed backup announced the at first concern bet growth with 2006, the Europe Centre Banking, ECB, cut theirs future in adverse area and stretched Mario Draghi's large grenade launcher, the purchase of billions of euros cost of finance holdings to supporting governments and business community. Currently, the Fed backup, the ECB and the Banking of Japan include all signaled a changing of color. Say is of conical cash incentive and increase concern rates. The Banking of England's following go on concern rates is anticipated to be up. Currently, no one is offering how the era of lightweight cash politics is above. Centre banks yet purchased $1.5 billion, pound, of ties in 2017, over the 2011 to 2016 ordinary of dollar. But they are all signal how the top water supply mark has been achieved. Or, as the incentive is slow diminished, which will be show on the actual structure problems advanced economies in special person. The absence of industry invest that has leftward us in low performance. The absence of wages increase that has leftward lot millions of human beings cladding declining actual incomes. An lavanya of center banking cash has stored the world economics on its feet with the finance meltdown. And has taken into account political community and pretext to see the some path while it comes to the very hard issues economies person. As how narcotic is remote, it will be period for governments to begin focus on which in fact matters. And dealing the fractures how are all too obvious to the thousands of convention delegates there at the Planet Economical Message Board.